fundraising worldwide.
Now we move on. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and South Korean Defense Minister Ahn Gyu-back have held the annual security consultative meeting in Seoul. The annual meet is the highest level forum at which the two countries chart the course of their military alliance and South Korea's defense against nuclear-armed North Korea. South Korea's defense ministry has stated that the two would discuss combined defense readiness against North Korea and cooperation on regional security and cyber missile defense. Earlier, Pete Hegseth received a military welcome from Gyu-back ahead of their meeting. The pair entered the ceremony venue saluting and mounted the stage as the military band played the South Korean and U.S. national anthems. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and South Korean Defense Minister Ahn Gyu-back have held the annual security consultative meeting in Seoul. The annual meet is the highest level forum at which the two countries chart the course of their military alliance and South Korea's defense against nuclear-armed North Korea. South Korea's defense ministry has stated that the two would discuss combined defense readiness against North Korea. Now for this discussion, we welcome Professor Hidekazu Sakai. He's a professor of Kansai Gaida University, joins us live from Osaka, Japan. Thank you very much, Professor, for joining us again. Good to see you. Professor, looking at this news, how significant is U.S.-South Korea alliance for South Korea? How important is it? And could increased U.S.-South Korea defense collaboration escalate tensions with North Korea or China in South Korea's point of view?
Okay, this is the first time for Pete Hegseth, Defense Secretary, now Secretary of the United States, visited to this DMZ, demilitarized zone, that is divides North and South Koreas. So I think for the United States, this is the first step toward new policy regarding North Korean policy. So maybe this view, this can be viewed as a symbolic movement for the United States, but also showing that the United States taking substantial step toward North Korean issue, including nuclear issues.
And what challenges do these nations face in enhancing their defense cooperation?
Well, I think that the South Korea has a relatively new government, Lee government. So Lee government needs to confirm a security alliance with United States that is critically important for the existence of South Korean government as a state as a whole since 1948. Therefore, this is something that they always needed to confirm. And the second, Japan's new government, Takaichi Sanae cabinet, has been making a very strong message to North Korea that they want to have the Japan and North Korea summit meeting anytime, soon, because Japan has the issue of abduction issues. Therefore, North Korea has been pressured by both Japan and the United States to talk about remaining old issue that is about the North Korea's nuclear and abduction issues for Japan as well. Therefore, this is becoming more multilateral pressures on North Korea. I'm sure North Korea has been feeling that they have to do something new to these their potential enemy states. Therefore, we should know that this would lead to something very important political move, maybe within this year, maybe early next year.
Professor, can you tell us more about how the new Prime Minister of Japan is more willing to engage with North Korea? Is it different from previous administrations or predecessors of her, like Ishiba?
Okay, not only Ishiba, but also I would say Kishida and even Abe government in the last, I would say, 2 decades, regarding North Korean issue. I guess the biggest moment for the Japan-North Korean relation was 2002, when that time Koizumi, the cabinet was successful to bring their abducts from North Korea to the Japan, and that was dramatic, the breakthrough for the North Korea-Japan relations. But since then, abduction issues has been kind of stagnated. I don't know, maybe regarding Japan's policy was misconducted, or maybe North Korea just ignored these issues, or maybe North Korea wanted to talk to United States more actively. Therefore, last 2 decades, Japan and North Korea relations has been stagnated in terms of the exchange and diplomatic negotiations, and even regarding the nuclear issues, and of course abduction issues as well. Therefore, I would say Japan-North Korea relations has been kind of frozen for the last 2 decades. So Takaichi is very, very serious about this. Takaichi already expressed her
Professor,
passion.
Professor, unfortunately, we are cutting live on to Pete Hegseth, who is speaking now. Thank you for joining us and sharing that answer and staying with us for this. That was Professor Hidekazu Sakai. Now, the defense chief of U.S. and South Korea are holding a meeting. Let's cut across.
아주 엄중한 안보 환경을 직면하고 있지만 우리 한미 동맹은 그 어느 때보다 굳건하다는 말씀을 자신 있게 드릴 수 있겠습니다. 이것이 오늘 열렸던 안보 협의 회의에서도 저희들이 공감했던 내용이고, 우리가 직면하는 위협에 대해서 우리가 눈을 똑바로 뜨고 직시해야 된다는 점에 대해서 안 장관님과 저는 전적으로 동의할 수 있었습니다. 특별히 우리는 이재명 대통령님과 트럼프 대통령님의 강력한 리더십 하에서 이러한 한미동맹을 강력하게 유지할 수 있을 것으로 생각하고, 특별히 트럼프 대통령님께서는 동맹과 파트너 국가들이 역할을 강화하고 많은 역할을 하는 것에 대해서 강조하고 계신데, 그런 측면에서 한국은 정말 모범이 되는 모델 동맹국가라고 말씀드릴 수 있겠습니다.
Minister An and I discussed practical steps that we can take to modernize the alliance. And I'm greatly encouraged by Minister An's commitment to increase defense spending and to make greater investments in ROK military capabilities. This includes critical missile defense and space capabilities that our forces need to preserve the peace and prevail, God forbid, in war.
예, 그래서 안 장관님과 저는 많은 실질적인 것에 대해서 논의할 수 있었고 의견을 같이 했는데, 특별히 안 장관님께서 대한민국 정부가 방위비 지출을 증가하시고 핵심적인 군사 능력, 이를테면 미사일, 사이버, 그리고 필수한 능력 부분에서 군사적 투자를 강화하시기로 말씀하신 데 대해서 제가 많이 고무되어 있음을 말씀드립니다. 그래서 평상시에 우리가 계속해서 우위를 유지하고 하나님께 간절히 기도하건대 일어나지 않았으면 하지만 혹시라도 유사시에 우리가 반드시 승리할 수 있는 만반의 대세를 갖출 수 있을 것입니다.
We agreed that these investments would accelerate the ROK's ability to lead its conventional deterrence and defense against North Korea. And Minister An and I also discussed strengthening our readiness by energizing our defense industrial cooperation across the alliance. For the first time in history, we agreed to demonstrate the ability to maintain and repair U.S. warships here in Korea. And doing this will harness this country's world-class shipbuilding capabilities.
예, 그리고 이를 위해서 우리가 계속해서 방산 부분에서의 협력을 강화해 나갈 것이라는 점을 저희들이 확인할 수 있었고, 특별히 기쁘게 생각하는 것은 미국 역사상 최초로 바로 이 한국 땅에서 미국 군함의 수리와 유지를 직접 진행할 수 있게 되었다라는 것을 말씀드리게 돼서 기쁘게 생각하고, 이것은 한국이 세계 유수의 세계적 수준의 조선 역량을 갖고 계신 것을 입증해 주는 사례라고 믿습니다.
Maintaining warships in theater will also ensure our most lethal capabilities remain ready to respond to any crisis. Soon, we also plan to expand our cooperation to maintaining ground equipment in Korea as well. And doing this work in peacetime keeps our forces ready and it keeps them combat credible. Minister An and I also agreed on the value of having our defense research labs and scientists work more closely together. And this cooperation ensures our warfighters have the most advanced and lethal technologies.
예, 그리고 군함과 관련돼서 전구 차원에서 모든 준비를 마칠 뿐만 아니라 살상력을 충분히 제고하고 모든 위기에 대처할 수 있는 준비를 갖추는 것을 저희들이 진행하기로 합의한 바 있습니다. 그리고 앞으로는 이런 것을 조선업에서 머무는 것이 아니라 지상 장비 부분에까지 곧 확대하는 것을 저희들이 함께 공감하였습니다. 이렇게 평상시에 저희들이 준비 태세를 만반에 갖춰서 하게 되면은 유사시에 그리고 전시에 신뢰할 만한 억제를 갖고 대처할 수 있게 될 것입니다. 뿐만 아니라 국방연구와 과학기술 분야에서도 협조를 강화하기로 하였습니다. 그래서 모든 전사들이 최신의 그런 준비를 할 수 있도록 저희들이 합의를 보았습니다.
Our historic alliance is stronger than ever before and is vital to the Asia Pacific. I'm confident that we will continue to lead the region toward a more safe and secure future. So thank you again, Minister An, a friend and an ally, and thank you for spending this day with us.
예, 우리의 역사적이고 중요한 한미 동맹은 그 어느 때보다도 강건합니다. 그리고 아태 지역의 안보와 평화에 필수적입니다. 그리고 우리 양국의 동맹은 이 지역을 계속해서 이끌어 나갈 것으로 확신합니다. 안 장관님과 우리 국방당국자 여러분 저의 친구이시고 동맹입니다. 그렇게 귀한 회의를 이끌어 주신 데 대해 감사드립니다.
Now we stay in the region and we move on to our next news. Kim Yong-nam, North Korea's former ceremonial head of state and a lifelong supporter of the ruling dynasty, has died at the age of 97. He has held the role of president of Pyongyang's rubber-stamp Supreme People's Assembly from 1998 to 2019. He has died of multiple organ failure, according to the North Korean Central News Agency. Kim Yong-nam was born when the Korean peninsula was under Japanese colonial rule. Unlike many other high-ranking officials in the North, Kim Yong-nam was never demoted, even as power was handed down through 3 generations of the Kim family clan. He retired in April of 2019. His longevity was rare, as many other officials have been purged, sent to labor camps, or even killed if they are deemed to have acted against the state's policies. Now we move on to China.